Next year, Microsoft will be launching the Xbox One Scorpio, an iteration of the existing Xbox One hardware that seems tailor-made in response to all the numerous criticisms that Microsoft have endured for the Xbox One over the last 3 years. Unlike the Xbox One, the Scorpio will not be some misguided attempt at redefining UI or being a living room media box. Unlike the Xbox One, the Scorpio will not be underpowered, overshadowed by its competition. Unlike the Xbox One, the Scorpio won't break compatibility with its predecessor. Instead, the Scorpio will be a gamer-focused machine through and through, with 6 teraflops of power that will make it the most powerful console ever released and far beyond its completion. The Xbox One Scorpio will also maintain full compatibility with the Xbox One and Xbox One S, including with the Xbox 360 games that have gradually been made compatible with Xbox One hardware over the last year. However, veteran industry developer CliffyB, who has created multiple hits over the years, including Gears of War for Microsoft on the Xbox 360, doesn't exactly sound fully enthralled with Microsoft's strategy for Xbox going forward. In an interview with German outlet PC Games Hardware, Blazinski sounded off on Microsoft's plans for the Xbox going forward. To me, it seems like the Xbox One Scorpio is trying to make up for past wrongs. With the Xbox One, Microsoft made many big mistakes. They were completely on the wrong track with the 2 central concepts for the console, always online and Kinect, and they also had the misfortune of being caught in the middle of the NSA scandal because of the Kinect. Blazinski also went on to explain that the Kinect is actually good technology, sophisticated and really expensive, but it never felt like it amounted to anything much for the games, outside of casual fitness and dance games, but even this was a mistake. The Xbox One was no Wii U. Unlike the Wii, it was really expensive at launch. $500 doesn't exactly appeal to the casual, virtual gym-toting crowd. As a result of the Kinect, Microsoft were caught between a rock and a hard place. The Kinect pushed up the price so that the console would only appeal to core gamers, but core gamers weren't interested in what the Kinect had to offer. And because the Kinect was already so expensive, it placed constraints on how much technology Microsoft could put into the console box itself, leading to weaker but expensive hardware with no appeal to either mainstream casuals or core gamers. The result? It's already displaced Microsoft with the PlayStation 4. As Blazinski says, the Xbox 360 was an excellent console for shooters for a long time. Most games ran better on it, but this time around, the PS4 is simply better than the Xbox One. Native 1080p and 60 FPS make all the difference. Returning to the Scorpio and to Microsoft's future hardware strategy, Blazinski noted that Microsoft risks confusing the average customer. My ex-colleagues must make sure they don't confuse the average buyer, he noted, who will ask themselves, why do I have to buy a Scorpio this year when I just purchased an Xbox One S last year? Now, I understand Microsoft's idea behind the strategy. They're trying to emulate the smartphone model. Apple makes so much money with their S models that costs less money to manufacture off uninformed customers, but smartphones are subsidized by carriers. The question is, will there be any such deals for the Scorpio? To Microsoft's credit, they have intimated that they plan to have trade-in options for the Xbox One Scorpio once it launches next year, but Blazinski's other points definitely stand. By releasing so much hardware in such a short period of time, Microsoft run the very real risk of confusing and alienating the consumer. This kind of strategy does work in the handheld market. Indeed, Nintendo's made an art form out of it, especially with the 3DS, but in the console market, it has never worked. Just ask Sega how the Sega CD and 32X worked out for them. The Xbox One Scorpio is due out by holiday 2017. AMD may be securing wins for custom-designed consoles, but Nvidia are apparently focused on pushing out the highest-end GPUs for PC gaming possible. Today, they took the wraps off of the new Titan X, which seems to be an absolute beast of a CPU. The Titan X has a staggering 12GB of 10GB per second GDDR5X VRAM, 1.5 GX clock speed, 3584 CUDA cores, all of them coming together to deliver a grand total of 11 teraflops of power, which means the new Titan X outpaces other Nvidia GPUs and even Microsoft's Xbox One Scorpio, which has been announced to have 6 teraflops of power. All of this and the Titan X is SLI compatible too. This makes the Titan X the most powerful consumer-grade GPU and should probably be more than enough to keep you ready for 4K and VR gaming. It will come at a hefty price though, as you'll have to spend $1,200 on the card. As is per the case with each update, data miners have discovered new information within the Cunning Stunts update for Grand Theft Auto Online. Except one data miner on Twitter, Tez Funds, noted several lines of code that could indicate GTA Online finally receiving Biker DLC. The code in question features lines like Biker Initiation and Biker Joust, which could indicate players being able to joust each other while on motorcycles. It was also noted that the update could pertain to the game's inherent CEO and VIP systems, instead allowing players to have a biker gang like the Lost and Damned as opposed to a suite of bodyguards. Tez Funds was responsible for unearthing other updates in the past, namely the Lowriders and Rhino Hunt updates, so it wouldn't be too remiss to take him seriously. That being said, take everything with a grain of salt until Rockstar officially announces it. When Windows 10 came out, Microsoft had an ambitious goal: get the OS running on over 1 billion devices by 2018. It seemed to be crazy ambitious, that many devices in such a short period of time, but Microsoft made multiple bold moves to meet this target, including distributing Windows 10 for free for the first year, and also making Windows 10 largely platform agnostic, capable of running on PCs, tablets, phones, and even Xbox. However, it seems as though the company will end up missing its 1 billion device target regardless, and it sounds as though the failure of Windows Phone is to blame for that. In a statement issued to ZDNet, Microsoft admitted that it would miss the 1 billion devices goal, but also pointed out that Windows 10 remains the fastest adopted OS in Windows history regardless. Windows 10 is off to the hottest start in history, with over 350 million monthly active devices, with record customer satisfaction and engagement, said a Microsoft spokesperson. We're pleased with our progress to date, but due to the focusing of our phone hardware business, it will take longer than fiscal year 18 for us to reach our goal of 1 billion monthly active devices. In the year ahead, we're excited about usage growth coming from commercial deployment and new devices, and increasing customer delight with Windows. We do believe that Windows 10 will eventually get to a billion devices, of course, just not right away. We also understand that the bottom dropping out of Microsoft's smartphone market probably led to their projections taking a significant hit, since Microsoft were probably counting on a substantial number of Windows 10 phones on the market contributing to the 1 billion goal. That said, even if Microsoft are missing their lofty projected milestone, it doesn't matter. Windows 10, warts and all, is the OS of the future, it's successful, and it's here to stay. With Nuka World, the final bit of post-launch content announced for Bethesda's Fallout 4 at the moment due out next month, fans of the game are obsessively trying to find hints and clues as to what this enigmatic new expansion, of which nothing is known whatsoever, may entail, and apparently their search is actually fruitful too. As the video in the description points out, people have managed to find out the names of some of the locations that may be in the expansion in the assets included with the creation kit. Of course, just names alone aren't going to tell us much about what to expect, but happily, the video comes with some accompanying screenshots too, which should be able to give us a better idea of just what to expect. If you want to go into this expansion blind, this is your final warning. Spoilers for Fallout 4 Nuka World are beyond this point. Still with us? Alright then, among the locations leaked are Kitty Kingdom, Galactic Zone, Wild West, and Safari Zone. There are others too, and there are in-game screenshots of them all represented on the Pip-Boy map for all of them, so it sounds like these are actually pretty real. We'll know for sure either way when Fallout 4 Nuka World launches next month. Hopefully you can cap off what has generally been a bout of disappointing post-launch support with some style and substance. Very rarely has one company ever managed to burn through its cachet of consumer goodwill as rapidly or as spectacularly as Konami has over the last few years. And considering just how much goodwill Konami had, that really is saying something. For Konami's poor treatment to their long-running classic franchises such as Silent Hill and their creators, the company has managed to tarnish its legacy very effectively, at least in the fans' opinions. However, it now appears as though the company may be trying to mend fences and rebuild bridges with its fans. Talking on Reddit, Ben, who apparently handles social media for Konami in the US, the user is verified so we know he's the real deal, decided to take on some of the grievances and issues that people have had with Konami over the last few years. Speaking specifically about the future of Metal Gear, Ben emphatically stated that Metal Gear Solid has a future on consoles and one beyond just pachinkos. Metal Gear is important to a lot of people here, and has been stated publicly, will be supported in the future in a console market, he said, admitting that Konami had lost the trust of its fans. It can be hard as fans. One day we hope we may earn you back and surprise you. Hope that helps and does not sting, he added, also teasing something for the upcoming 30th anniversary of Metal Gear next year. Ben also pointed out that the very nature of the industry is long-term, and that a few years of hiatus for popular franchises such as Castlevania does not necessarily mean that Konami has abandoned them, but they are trying to find a good fit for them going forward. But what about the existence of pachinko? A lot of Metal Gear fans have been taking it hard, considering it to be an affront to the franchise, as well as conclusive proof that Metal Gear as a AAA gaming franchise may be at an end. However, Ben very candidly answered those questions too, noting that the pachinko is a local product for just the Japanese market that fans are reading too much into, and pointing out yet again that its existence does not and will not impact the development of any Metal Gear game Konami may be working on. In other words, it is not one or the other, and it can definitely be both. Given how candid, refreshingly honest, and satisfying all his other questions were, fans were probably hoping that Ben would be able to answer the one question that has been on everyone's mind since the launch of Metal Gear Solid 5 last year. Will there ever be a Chapter 3 for the game? However, Ben humorously deflected the question, suggesting that it is above his pay grade. All said and done, what we hear may just be some good for a change, PR with no substance or deeper meaning to it than that. On the other hand, given that Konami have hardly cared about poor PR so far, that seems unlikely. And even if it does, the fact that they're trying to reverse that trend suggests that they may have something coming up that may require fans to be excited and on board. That's the worst case scenario. In the best case, Ben is being honest, and there really are more Metal Gear games in the wings, with even revivals for franchises like Castlevania and Silent Hill not being out of the question. The fans in us will hope for the latter possibility. The realist in us, perhaps for the former one.
We hope you've enjoyed this video, so please consider subscribing to our channel. We do original content, reviews, graphics comparison, and much more, and try to upload a video every day. Thank you very much for checking us out.